Wow, what a blast from the past. I remember the original Pac-Man World from PS1. The game came out in 1999, over a year after I was born. I'm not even sure if I've ever played the original game, but I remember watching my brothers and parents play this when I was a kid, and I definitely remember the legendary sequel. The original was a classic of its era, and went on to become successful enough to spawn 2 sequels. And given my fond memories of Pac-Man World 2, I was always curious to go back and play the first game. What was Pac-Man World 1 like? I remember the 2.5D camera angle, but not much anything else. I wondered what mechanics the game had, pondered where the second game's mechanics and charm came from, and I was curious about the music as well. The announcement and release of the remake went under the radar for me, so imagine my elation when I was looking through the PlayStation Store and found Pac-Man World Re-Pac on sale for like $10. My oldest brother was getting a shot of nostalgia watching me play on Twitch, and my younger brother, who was trying his damnedest to not get any more games at the moment, as his backlog is pretty full, immediately caved in with excitement and salt. I can personally tell you that I was thoroughly pleased with my playthrough of the game, from its smooth control system, diverse and fun platforming sections, clean graphics, charming art style, and the destructive power pellet. This game doesn't have to keep you for a long time, but it surely is a good time. I'm P34J, and this is my review of Pac-Man World Re-Pac. Obviously, this is a children's game, so the plot doesn't have to be convoluted at all. Basically, it's Pac-Man's 20th birthday. His family and friends throw a bash, but they get kidnapped by a bunch of ghosts before he gets there. When he does arrive, he sees a flyer about himself holding a party with a bunch of ghosts. That's obviously where his family is, so he embarks on a journey to save them, and that's where the platforming and butt bouncing begins. Just enough story to set up for some epic fun. The game starts you off in a mini maze with a bunch of Pac dots and a power pellet to give the player some familiarity from past games. Whoa! That ain't what I expected. Power Pac-Man is an absolute force of nature. He's big, he's crashing through the environment, he has hops, and you know what he's doing to his enemies. Pac-Man brings a whole new meaning to putting your ops in a pack. See what I did there? Some areas have light bridges to prevent your giant Pac-Man from falling, allowing for smoother and maximum carnage. I expected a shot of nostalgia, not adrenaline. The first level is basically a tutorial, walking you through the game's mechanics. You have the jump button, a button that lets you hang in the air for a bit, and you can throw pellets at enemies and breakable boxes. Butt bounce can be used against enemies and can help you climb high ledges and steep ramps. Something I wish I had learned early on. Rev roll can also be used against enemies to clear far jumps, traverse smaller ramps, and is necessary to operate elevators. The metal pellets temporarily transform you into Metal Pac-Man, making you invulnerable to damage and allowing you to defeat metal enemies and bypass swimming in water. The weight allows you to walk underwater normally, allowing you to eliminate aquatic enemies and break underwater chests. Finally, there's a pellet that gives you a powerful butt bounce that creates a shockwave, beating all the enemies in the AoE. My brother put it best: all this thought put into a 1999 platformer is crazy. It's also like a perfect middle ground. Not too many mechanics to convolute the gameplay, but just enough to make you feel like you have a diverse array of options for movement and combat. I don't know what they did to update the feeling of this game, but the control feels nice. I expected a bit of clunkiness for some reason, but I guess since this was basically a full remake, they made it feel like it was just made last year. The level design makes you use almost all of these options. I never really had to use the hang in the air ability. Heck, I rarely threw Pac'd up until the endgame. Depending on what the platforming section dictates, in ways that I've outlined earlier. Furthermore, the game will have you on your tiptoes, even when just walking and jumping. There are moving and or disappearing platforms, hazards, cannons and fire get shot at you, and some enemies will physically block your way. There's a decent variety of enemies. Ghosts can only be beaten with a power pellet. Most other enemies can be beaten with a rev roll, butt bounce, or a thrown pellet, but some enemies have certain defenses or are invulnerable, like those stones in the boss mansion. There are a variety of types of play spaces, like the small 2.5D mazes with power pellets, small platforms to hop across, thin platforms to cautiously traverse, elevation via ramps, elevators, and trampolines, swimming sections, and even boss fights. There are often buttons you have to trigger to further progress in the level via butt bounce. Pac-Man World demands your attention in terms of gameplay with all these factors, if not due to difficulty, then due to immersion and charm. I gotta be honest, I'm not the best gamer in the world, so this may be a personal experience, and I'm kind of ashamed to admit it, but hey, no wonder they was published by the same company. Man, I died a boatload of times. Some of it was due to actual platforming, some due to boss battles, some due to me just not understanding the mechanics of the game, like that time I was stuck on 2 ramps just because I didn't know the butt bounce mechanic could be used to travel up them. But most of it was due to me just flat out walking off or falling. Look, man, shout out Slink Skywalker, man. My younger brother is already having an easier time than I did with this game. Like, he put Anubis in a pack in like 4 lives. He took like 10, possibly even 12 from me. I was getting smoked. I was getting rolled up. In actuality, the game is about 4 hours long, but I died so many times that I doubled that time, which was actually the same for me with Modern Warfare 3. The game does require a moderate amount of backtracking to complete certain levels, but I'm okay with that. It just provides an opportunity for me to further experience the worlds. This game actually has a decent progression system, if you can call it that, especially for a $19.99 platformer. There are tons of spots to pick up extra lives, health, fruit, keys, bells, these arcade spaceship icons that come from Galaxian, and slot machine coins. Hold a minute, calm down. There is no real world gambling or loot boxes in this game, much like all games from 1999, and how any game should ever be. That should have never been a thing. Okay, rant over. Back to the video. You score points by eating pellets, fruit, ghosts, and other items, and by beating other enemies. Every 10,000 points you score in a level gives you an extra life at the end of each level. The items you find can be used to unlock doors that contain extra lives, triggers, keys, and even 2D mazes in the spirit of old Pac-Man games. Keys can be used to free your family from cages. When you complete each level, there's a slot machine that gives you the opportunity to earn extra points and lives. I honestly did not expect this game to have a hub world, because it was made in 1999, but it does, and you can walk around and do a few activities. There's 6 worlds with 4 levels each, and you can fast travel between each world. You can talk to the people you saved and access cutscenes and mazes you've unlocked. Beating the game unlocks the classic 1980s Pac-Man arcade game, which can also be accessed in the hub world. For a short game, it packs in as much content as possible, and it's all quality. The boss battles in this game were all unique and fun. The Windbag ship and Anubis were pretty cool, with the former being a decent challenge, requiring you to butt bounce to press buttons to deflect the cannonballs, and the latter being the most challenging boss in the game for me by far. I just could not effectively navigate through those skinny platforms while avoiding damage from Anubis and his minions. I died so many times to him that his minions stopped spawning down the line, so I think I accidentally turned on easy mode to beat him. Easy mode option aside, that is a Souls boss at its finest, because as all gamers know, any game that has any semblance of difficulty is automatically a Souls-like game. Jokes aside though, I am still working on a certain From Software game, or rather, the From Software game. King Galaxian actually forces you to play Galaga, and that is just live. I did not expect that at all. That was probably my favorite level of the game just because of how cool it was. Then there's a Mario Kart boss battle, some Metal Madness with the Chrome Keeper, and then there's the final boss. No, not that one, not that one. No, not that one either, not that one either. I'm talking Pac-Man. This is a decent hoss fight. It requires more direct offense than any other fight in the game. You can rev roll and butt bounce him directly to get to phase 2, where he becomes Metal Pac-Man. This phase is much the same as the first, but since you need a metal pellet to damage him, you have to run from his attacks for a while until another spawns. Stage 3 has him turn into a giant, but it's fairly easy. You just have to spam butt bounce on his legs. Having the Pac family heal your health automatically up to 6 times as they cheer you on does make the fight very easy, but it also provides some charm and innocent fun. The anime-like cutscene they added at the end, where he jumps up and eats the power pellet, fire. The plot wraps up as we find out a ghost was operating the Pac-Man machine. He says the sad line of, "Nobody ever cheers for a ghost." I partially expected Pac-Man to express some sympathy, but nope. Unlike Pac-Man, he takes no prisoners. That scene was kind of funny, not gonna lie. And the fact that there's a minigame in the credits is a nice touch. Not too many games these days include small details like that. And even after I beat the game, there's still an endgame? What? There's a special key I can get by raising my total high score, and an alternate ending. I haven't got the key yet, but I do know that it allows you to automatically open all doors throughout every level, so you can have easier access to all the special items, which is a cool touch. But I did unlock the alternate ending. You see, throughout each world, there's a level where one of your family members is locked up, and you have to find a key in that level to use it to unlock said family member. Each family member you free can be found in the hub world, in the world that you freed them from. If you don't save all your family members by the time you do the final boss battle, you get the first ending. But if you successfully save everyone, which I had to go back and do, then you get an alternate ending, which was exactly what I was talking about before. The ending I was actually hoping for. With my big heart, he forgives Pac-Man and shakes his hand. Now that's a proper ending to a children's game right there. These kind of small features are absolutely more than I expect from a children's platformer. Only a few more things to talk about here. The music was pretty charming and catchy throughout the whole game. It filled me with nostalgia for sure. And I ain't gonna lie, the credit song at the end of Pac-Man, 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 eat 'em up, eat 'em up. That go hard. Maybe I just got a weird taste in music, but that go hard to me. I only got 2 criticisms. The first one is a me thing, and it's that the 2.5D perspective kind of messed up my depth perception at times, making it hard for me to jump on certain platforms and hit enemies with pack dots. The second is that some of the rev roll sections that required you to clear jumps were absolutely atrocious. I couldn't control whether the game would let me reach the other side or the next platform, but these are few and far between. The last thing I'll briefly mention is some of the changes from the original game. Not going to go into detail, Clement J64 already did so, but they reworked some of the boss fights. Mrs. Pac-Man and Co. have been replaced due to copyright. The giant power Pac-Man is a new addition. The ghosts capture Pac-Man's family instead of the bosses, and there's the new alternate ending, because the last game actually required you to free all your family members before you can fight Pac-Man. And it didn't tell you which levels had keys. But from what I've seen, the game is mostly faithful to the original. Pac-Man World Re-Pac is a prime example of a remake done right. It keeps the spirit of the original while improving and adding on to the content. There are a good amount of levels and some extra content with mazes, alternate endings, and the original Pac-Man game. Each level contains a good variety of sections via swimming, bouncing, platforming, and eliminating enemies, and the boss battles were entertaining. The music was cool, the controls were smooth and intuitive, and the game felt complete overall. Whether you're looking for a shot of nostalgia, to rest from some other stressing experiences, again, me personally, I was still crashing out over this game, or just to kill some time, Pac-Man World Re-Pac has you covered. Although the game is short, it is definitely worth giving a playthrough. And there we go, folks. That is my review of Pac-Man World Re-Pac. It's definitely a fun side adventure I was having while I'm trying to grind Elden Ring. I'm actually simultaneously grinding another adventure, which part of it has been one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life. That being the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 campaign and zombies. But I'm definitely glad I stopped by the online PlayStation store and found this game extremely discounted. The base price is actually like $39.99. I actually got it for like 10 something because I was I got a discount via the PlayStation Plus subscription, and I'm glad that I was able to play it. I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you did, leave a like below. Leave a subscribe below if you're interested in any of my other game reviews or anything else I've ever talked about, like Halo commentary on platform fighters, etc. I got a boatload of other plans right now. As I said, I'm grinding Elden Ring, and I'm grinding Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 in its entirety. I mean, Warzone ain't that bad. It's actually pretty good, you know. The multiplayer I haven't played too much of yet, but I plan on grinding that. Oh god, but the campaign and the zombies is horrible. I still have not finished an invasion mode season or significantly played the multiplayer for Mortal Kombat 1. I told you I was going to procrastinate towards doing that. That's probably not coming out. The second part of that review is probably not coming out for another like 2 to 3 months because I wanted to get some other gaming experiences in. But I'm still going to do it. It might be late, but I'm definitely still going to do it. You know, like 99% of the reviews that I'm doing on this channel have been late, to be honest. The next review, if not Elden Ring, is more than likely going to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And that's if I don't sneak another like small game in like the original Doom. But in any case, I just want to thank you all for viewing this video. Thank you all for stopping by the P34J channel. Again, if you want to watch more videos, subscribe to my channel. I also stream on Twitch as well. P34J, same channel. I also have an X, P34J, Discord, P34J. Thank you all for coming around. I know I just said it like 3 or 4 times, but I'm gonna say it one more time. This has been P34J. I'm about to go to Pac-Man's 20th birthday party. Y'all have a good one.